It's Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. Short video today. Just wanted to go over an article that I was reading on Drudge earlier today. Before I go over this article, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. If you have already subscribed, hit that bell notification down below so that you are notified with the newest video. But make sure that you subscribe to this channel and share this video everywhere. Let's get into this article. It was actually a survey on the Drudge Report, and it was pretty interesting, and I wanted to share it with all of you. But when I read this and I go over this survey, it just tells me how far people are behind with the times, how far they're behind economically. And it's a real reminder to all of you, to me, that we must continue preparation. This isn't just a trend. This is a lifestyle. You got to be living this now. You got to get in the mental mindset of survival, physically, spiritually, and economically. It is a lifestyle at this point. Half of Americans call 2020 a personal financial disaster. Well, no doubt. And I think that's a very conservative number, because I think more than half of Americans would call this a financial disaster at this point. A new survey shows that rebuilding savings tops the list of New Year's resolutions. I mean, this is something that these people should have been doing for years. But see, it takes a disaster for people to wake up. But unfortunately, for so many people, it is going to be too late. It is already too late. 62% of respondents expect to take on a second job in 2021 to help stay afloat. And that's the key word, to stay afloat. People are now working 2 jobs just to stay afloat. You know, back in the day, one person in a household could afford, with a full-time job, could afford to buy a house, buy a car, and take care of a family. Now, here in the U.S., we're seeing a husband and wife both have to work full-time jobs, and they're barely staying afloat because they've got to take care of the mortgage, the car payments, the 2 kids. And 2 people in a household working full-time today isn't even enough. So we're seeing a lot of people now taking on side hustles, meaning a part-time job, 2 side hustles, 2 part-time jobs, whatever it may be. But 2 people in a household raising kids today, people are barely getting by. Many of them are falling deeper into debt. And when we look at the amount of job losses now in America, my heart goes out to so many people. Maybe a spouse lost a job. Maybe both spouses have lost a job. I mean, think about what we are witnessing here in America. The unemployment numbers, the jobless numbers are now worse than what we saw in the Great Depression. And we live in a completely different society compared to what we were as a nation back in 1929 and the 30s during the Great Depression. People today typically are not going to help one another. People now have this entitlement type of lifestyle where they just expect to get things, and if they can't get a job, they just expect those government checks to take care of them. This mentality that we see today, this self-entitlement, it is going to be very damaging when we get into very, very dark times here financially in America. Because look, this depression has just begun. Most people don't know how to cook. Most people don't know how to take care of themselves. Like people back in the 20s and 30s, a lot of people back in those days were connected to family members who were still living on farms. People knew how to grow things. They knew how to hunt, how to prepare food. And people just don't know how to do this today. And let's face it, people just are not tough like they were back in the day. 3 in 10 currently don't have the means to cover a $400 setback. Think about that. 30% of America cannot come up with $400 today. And we're being told that everything is okay, things are recovering. There's people out there that get triggered by my videos because I condemn companies like Walmart. Look, it is no secret. I don't like Walmart. I don't shop at Walmart. I think Walmart is a cancer on America. It's wiped out small business. While the taxpayers pay to build Walmarts that put out small businesses, to put them out of business, we're watching Walmart do it now as so many small and medium businesses have been forced to close down, yet the doors at Walmart remain open to sell you more cheap Chinese goods. The economy in China seems to be booming. People are going to work, they're manufacturing, they're producing. But here in America, people are losing everything. 59% say 2020 was filled with financial setbacks. Yeah, I would say many financial setbacks for so many people, including people losing their businesses, being forced to shut down. 63% say this year has permanently changed their financial priorities. Again, these people are so far behind the curve. I've been speaking for a few years now that you better prepare for a financial setback. And what we're seeing now is a global financial setback. 65% are depending on 2021 to recover financially from the 2020 setback. My question is, if 30% of people don't even have $400 saved up right now, if 80% of this country was living paycheck to paycheck back in 2019, now many of them don't even have a paycheck to go paycheck to paycheck to. How is 65% going to the 65% responding to the survey? How are they depending on 2021 to recover financially from the 2020 setback? How are they going to do that when most of these people don't even have $400? Many of these people have already lost their jobs. Many of these jobs never coming back. I think we've lost 21% of small business in America already, and we're seeing this double shutdown, the second closure now happening across America. And people just believe that 2021 things are going to be fine. I don't understand it. 37% plan on making serious cutbacks in 2021. You should have been making serious cutbacks back in 2018, 19, but people just cannot sacrifice their lifestyle. They cannot sacrifice going out to dinner. They cannot sacrifice the zip code. They cannot sacrifice that emblem on a car because they have to be somebody. They have to be accepted by society, by the car that they drive, by the zip code that they have. You know, if you continue to believe like that, you will never have real wealth. All you will be is a debt slave. You will have nothing but debt because it's 30 years of a mortgage. It's $1,000 lease payment on the Mercedes. It's having zero money saved up, zero assets. It's having zero net worth. It is being a debt slave. People don't look at the price of the car. They don't look at the price of the house. They just look at the monthly costs. Can I afford that monthly car payment? Can I afford the monthly mortgage payment? And just cross my fingers that nothing goes wrong, that no emergency comes up. There will be no medical emergency because these people who live in some of these nice houses, drive these nice cars, have absolutely zero money saved up. 74% had to shift their financial priorities this year because of emergency or medical expenses in 2020. Look, it can happen. It can happen to one of your kids. It can happen to you. And people are really literally playing Russian roulette here because they got to have the car. They got to have the zip code. They got to have 5 bedrooms instead of 2 bedrooms. The mentality today to just impress people, whether it's family members or friends or people we don't even know, to get on social media. These people who continue to go on social media to show us the steak dinner that they had last night, the champagne, the vacation. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And if you've noticed, more and more of these people are disappearing because the credit cards are running out. They're getting tapped out. They've already lost a job. They've had a wage cut. They've had their hours cut. So they can't even afford to go on social media and impress us any longer. This is what's happening. And maybe this is what America needs. Maybe this is the correction. Maybe this is the lesson that so many people must learn. Half say that putting more money aside has gained new importance in their life. You know, guys, I've been saying this for years. You better have a reserve. You better have a cash cushion and an emergency fund put away for a rainy day, for an emergency. But people just believe emergencies are fantasy, that it can't happen to them. 63% believe it will take longer than a year to reach just one of their financial goals. Again, this is people in fantasy land. They have no idea what is coming in 2021. We haven't even seen the blowback from millions of people losing their jobs, from the hundreds of thousands of businesses that have been shut down, the businesses that are never returning. We haven't even seen the blowback from all of this. And I don't see things getting better. I see things getting worse. I can't even imagine what the job numbers will be this week. They're going to be horrific no matter what. We've lost so many jobs in America, so many people dependent on a government check now. Top financial resolutions in the survey for 2021. Rebuilding savings was number one. Well, half the country never even had savings before all this began. Number two, becoming debt-free. America is full of debt slaves. Most people in America have a massive amount of debt. Look at the mortgage debt. People living way beyond their means, driving cars that they can't afford, spending money that they don't even have. Improving their credit score was number three. Here's the question. We are hemorrhaging nearly 1 million jobs a week. People are not paying rent. They're not paying their mortgages. Their credit is going to be decimated. That hasn't even begun yet. They're kicking the can farther down the road, extending the rent moratorium. But at someday coming in the future, all this is going to expire. What does this mean for people who right now are 9 months behind on rent, 9 months behind on their mortgage? How are they ever going to make this whole? Their credit is going to be destroyed. The landlords who are renting these properties out, apartments, homes, they're not paying the mortgages on these rental properties. So the renters' credit is being destroyed. The landlord's credit is being destroyed. And how many people right now are not making a car payment? If you're in the repo business and you're watching this today, I've heard nothing about delinquencies with auto payments. If you're in the repo business, please share with us what you're seeing in the repo business. Are you busy? Is it busier than last year? Is it slow? I would probably guess that you are repoing cars hand over fist. But if you're in the repo business, please leave a comment down below. Love to hear from you. If you know somebody in the repo business, let us know what is going on. 63% say that they regret not taking their finances more seriously. This is unfortunately the average American. And as I said yesterday, people need to stop spending money on dumb stuff. I see the lines out the door at some of these stores because they're only allowed to have 20% occupancy. People waiting in lines to get into these stores, waiting to get into a Walmart, waiting in the lines to get that $7 coffee at Starbucks. And I know this is triggering people, but it's these people who continue to spend their money at Walmart supporting China, the people that get triggered, the same people waiting in those lines of 20 cars at Starbucks to spend that $7. And these are the same people who have no net worth, who have saved no money, who are completely unprepared, and they lash out and they get completely triggered when I talk about the truth and reality. But that's too bad. You have seen nothing yet. And these same people who get angry at me because I attack Walmart and the Starbucks, these companies hate you. They despise you. They despise your beliefs. Yet we support these stores daily. I don't. I stopped going to Walmart over a year ago. I will never set foot in a Walmart. I hate what Walmart supports, what they believe in. I hate how they treat their employees. Same thing with Starbucks. And if you're smart, take your money somewhere else if you can. And I understand to the people out there that live in towns where they can only shop at a Walmart, I get it. I understand. I'm not criticizing you, but if you have the option, take the option. 54% have used credit cards to borrow money for a short-term expense. Boy, this doesn't sound like a very healthy economy to me. High interest rates and the inability to pay the debt back is going to further destroy their credit and ability to keep their heads above water. How about people now that are having to go to these loan sharks, these payday loans that charge you 400 or 500% interest. I see quite a bit of them, and I bet they're very, very busy. But this is what people have been forced to do. We have millions of people who are forced to gamble in the stock market now, and we have millions of people in America who are forced to borrow money off their credit cards, forced to go to payday loans, pay 400 or 500% interest because an emergency came up, their kid got sick, the car broke down. How are these people ever going to get out of this debt in 2021? People's credit is going to be destroyed. We're going to see people out on the streets. We are going to see people in despair. We're going to see desperation unlike we have ever seen in the history of America. And they're not going to make it easy for you to get out of the hole. I can guarantee you that. It is going to be very, very difficult for Americans to get out of the hole that they are getting themselves into right now. And look, I'm not sitting here blaming everybody for it. Look at what the system is doing to America. They have closed the economy down. You look at banks borrowing money for next to nothing, yet they're going to charge you 24% interest on your credit card so that when you do have that emergency, you're going to have a very, very hard time paying it back. So I see more and more debt slaves coming to America. The article goes on to say 45% expect to take out a loan for one reason or another in 2021. So Americans will continue to borrow more money. It's just like the U.S. government. The government continues to borrow money. It continues to spend money it doesn't have. And this is why America is bankrupt. And this is why we are going to see record numbers of households in America bankrupt. And we're going to start seeing this flood of bankruptcies in 2021. We're going to begin to see a housing crisis, a massive correction, a bubble beginning to burst in 2021. Look, the piper is going to be paid at some point, and we are coming to a point in America where we are no longer going to be able to borrow money that we can't pay back. We are no longer going to just be able to print money out of thin air. We're going to see huge consequences coming to America. The government's going to see it. Local and state government is going to see it. States will see it. And households are going to see it. And this country and the people here of America are going to be forced to change their living standards. They're not going to be asked to. It's not going to be voluntarily. People in America are going to get a wake-up call, and they're going to be forced to change their standard of living. And I make these videos to continue to warn all of you. You know, somebody told me that the garbage at Walmart was more important than saving some silver or gold coins. This is the audacity. This is the mentality of a dumbed-down zombie. And I hate to say that. I don't want to make fun of anybody, but the reality of it is we have a lot of people in America who are addicted to prescription drugs, addicted to illegal drugs. Obviously, the school system has really let us down, but we have people out there, for whatever reason, who are so dumbed down, so blind, so angry with reality and the truth that they get so triggered, they just can't accept it. They actually believe that the garbage in Walmart is more important than preserving and protecting your wealth with some silver or some gold or some cash. It's amazing that these same people are the same people who have no preparations. They don't have gold or silver. They have no knowledge. They are just zombies. And I pray for these people. I feel sorry for these people. And I don't want anybody watching this video to be one of these people. Knowledge is power. Having some gold, having some silver, getting out of the system, maybe having some alternatives. Maybe that means cryptos, whatever. I don't have all the answers. I don't give financial advice. I'm not a financial planner, but I'm here to at least make you think, to set off that light bulb in your head that you don't need to be a zombie. You don't need to be one of these people dependent on the system. I know for a lot of people it is already too late. But if you have a job, if you have an income, if you have some money right now, think about what's coming tomorrow. Don't rely on the system. As I said yesterday, all these banks closing, when we see the thousands of bank branches that have closed over the last decade, and so many of you have written to me, your ATMs closed, your local banks have closed temporarily, some have closed permanently. Why? Why are all these banks closing? And it really makes me worry about how we could wake up one day and how they could shut the whole system down with a flip of a switch. Again, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. You need to start thinking like a bank. 50% ranked the ability to get cash fast as the most important criteria in the survey. So again, you know, people want to use those credit cards. They want cash advances. They want to go to the loan sharks. They need money right now, whether that's an emergency or they see something like a big screen or a pair of Nikes or something, whatever that might be. People today in America cannot save. They cannot wait. They want satisfaction right now. They want it today. And I really, really hope that all of you are being very careful, very cautious with what's going on. You know, it's amazing that people want to sell their gold and silver when it goes down, but you know, these same people, if there's a blue light special at Walmart, they'll line up to go buy it on sale, right? Think about if a Mercedes or a Lexus was 50% off today, would that be a good deal or a bad deal? People would be lining up to buy it, right? They'd be lining up to buy with money they don't even have because it's 50% off. But when we see a little dip in the metals, everybody wants to sell and get out. I'm going to continue buying metals. I'm going to continue buying mining stocks. And look, for a lot of people right now, the solution might be to live below your means. You know, if you make $50,000 a year, maybe you should live like you make $30,000. If you make $100,000 a year, maybe you should live like you make $50,000. Start saving up cash, paying down the debt, acquiring assets, being able to sleep at night. I don't know how people can sleep at night with the massive car payments, the college tuition bills, the mortgages, the rent, the credit card payments, you name it, the medical bills. It goes on and on and on. And guys, I'm telling you, reality is coming to America. Rubber is going to meet the road, and people are going to meet the boogeyman, and it's going to be an ugly situation for millions of people. It is going to be a nightmare. People just believe that they're going to reset, forgive everybody's debt. It's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Your debt is not going to be forgiven. Maybe big corporate debt might be forgiven. Maybe bank debt might be forgiven. Your debt won't be forgiven. I guarantee you that. They're going to do everything in their power to take full advantage of this wealth transfer. Yet people ignore it, don't believe in it. What's a wealth transfer? They're too busy playing video games, watching sports, to even protect their own futures while their pensions get decimated. And the pension crisis coming to America is going to be nasty. It's going to be bad. And as I said earlier, people are going to be forced to change their standard of living whether they want to or not, because those pensions down the road are going to be cut. Many will cease to exist, and people are going to say, what do I do now? Who do I blame? Blaming isn't going to do anything when you've been wiped out. This is why I tell you to have a backup plan, to have some assets put away, to have an emergency fund put away. You cannot depend on just your pension or your 401k. You can't even depend on your job being there next week. You cannot depend on the system. Get out of the system, break free. The more that you are less dependent on the system, the more free you will be, the better you will sleep at night, the more healthy you will be as a person, knowing that you don't have to be dependent on this system. It's too late already for millions of people, but it might not be too late for you.